While people are joining, I just want to play our really cool video, which we actually put together when we launched the Travel Hub collection, which was in January. So those of you who aren't aware, you may know just the Africa Hub as a brand, but we launched the Travel Hub collection 12 months ago, and it has been quite an amazing 12 months. Don't forget that we also have the Indian Ocean Hub for those of you who really regularly go to the Africa Hub. The Indian Ocean Hub also exists and has destinations like Sri Lanka and the Maldives, which didn't quite fit into the Africa portfolio of Mauritius and the Seychelles and all those good things. Anyway, here we go. Hopefully the video is loud enough and you can enjoy it. Bit of an overview about the journey that we've been on. So for those of you who don't know, we launched in 2021 officially. Our sister company, Small World Marketing, actually started doing destination in training during the summer of 2020. And since then, we have won loads of awards, which we are super excited about, and we are up for nomination for another one next year. So yes, it's a small but mighty team, and a huge wholehearted thank you to all of you who've been on this journey with us from the start. Keep giving us your feedback, keep telling us what you love and where we could improve so that we can make sure that this is a platform that you can love and engage with. So who are we? Again, all of our content has been expert led. Many of you will know these beautiful faces of our experts who give us the content that we put on the site. So we've got 28 destinations across Africa and the Indian Ocean, and these wonderful individuals who are based in destination or have companies on the ground help us to curate that content. Trustworthy, hopefully you can really rely on it. It's not just Google. We love Google, but also Google is very fluffy. So a wholehearted, again, thank you to our experts. But that's really where it's all come from, is the content is being expert led. I wanted to include this slide just as a snapshot of users. So obviously I know that you guys are all engaged, and a huge thank you again for using the site. Hopefully today's session will help you to really get a handle on how you can use it better. But we have got, well, we're approaching 6,000 users from 112 countries, and we're getting around 50 new agents registering every week, which again came from a strategy meeting last week. We are astounded by the growth that we're getting. People are using it to put their new starters in front of so that they can kind of save a bit of management time. I did that session last week. If you want to rewatch it, I'll be sending it out in our newsletter. But today we're going to be focusing on how you can use it as a sales tool. Again, huge diversity of individuals using the site, and yeah, you guys are some of them, so thank you. Again, so this webinar is about how you can make the site work for you during peaks. It doesn't matter who you are, there is something for everyone on the site. I'm going to try and focus on the sales teams today. However, there are bits and bobs that I'll also show you so that you can hopefully get your supporting teams who are instrumental in getting those bookings across the line to make sure that you are getting those bookings in and lining your pockets. I also just want to highlight that this isn't a webinar just for travel agents and tour operators. Lovely Gareth from Chikunto is on the call as well. We have beautiful product on the site, and it might just be that you will find interest in how your competitors are promoting themselves and how you might be able to just make sure that you are a little bit better than they are. Cool. So again, if you didn't know, the site is free. I'll show you how to register if you don't have an account, or if you want to get your team members and friends and colleagues to register, it is completely free. So let's go ahead and explore. So first and foremost, registering for the site. Let me just take you back to the Travel Hub collection. So to give you context, in January last year, we launched 3 different URLs. Those of you who've been on the journey from the start will remember that we only had the Africa Hub. That was in the old days. And now we have 3 URLs because we have so much content on the site that we have had to sort of navigate it that way. That does mean, however, that because we've got 3 URLs, your login details may have a little bit of a problem knowing which site you're logging into. If you do have problems with this, let me know. The hack seems to be going in through the Travel Hub collection, and then you can navigate to the Africa Hub, the Indian Ocean Hub, and hopefully next year we'll be launching a couple of other destinations. Watch this space. But once you're on the Travel Hub collection, there's a big button that pops up here if you're not registered, and you can go through and register. All you have to do is identify who you are, fill in a very quick form, and then you'll get that access. The main site has a few bits and bobs. Primarily, this is how you can register or enter that competition. But we have also got a few other things that you can check out, including links directly to destinations and all of our new products that have come on the site and our webinars that are upcoming. So bear with me while I populate that. We are just negotiating our schedule for next year, but this is where it will live. So great. So to get around, you just navigate up here at the top. So let's go and check out the Africa Hub. I'm going to start out with our sub-hubs. I know many of you may not know that we have our sub-hubs, and you'll kind of wonder what that term means, but we started out with the accommodation hub once we did our destination training. I know it's a bit arse about face the way that I'm doing this at the moment, but like I say, I just want to make sure that we capture how you can use the site best for sales, and I am making big assumptions that lots of you already have that destination knowledge, and we just want to get straight into knowing how you can get those bookings across the line. So the sub-hubs are our activity hub, our DMC hub, the flight hub, and our tourism board listings. These only launched in Q4, so we are still very busy populating them. If you've got any contacts in these areas and you want them to be on the site, please let us know and we can do that job for you. But let's do scenarios. So you are looking for a new partner on the ground. When you get those inquiries for destinations that you may not necessarily have experience in selling, having a partner on the ground is vital. Now, we have a whole bunch of DMCs, not only the partners that we have in those destinations, but others as well. We recognize that you guys all have your bespoke ways of working. It may be that our amazing destination experts aren't necessarily right for you. So what we've done is created the DMC hub. So you can literally use my filter to find where they're based and what country you want to be focusing on, team languages, if you've got a particular client that needs to have, or you want to negotiate in your own language, you can do that. Guide languages, again, if you've got a client who wants to be on the ground with a guide who speaks their local tongue, then you can navigate using DMCs who have guides that speak that language. Services offered. Do they do multi-center itineraries? Do they book accommodation only? Can they do on the ground only if you've got someone who already has properties on the ground that they've booked? There's a whole bunch of different filters that I've created here. And if you need further help with that, let me know. Number of employees, sustainability credentials. If you have a particular budget, you can check out the DMCs that work within that and their type of client. So as I say, we've got a whole bunch on here. Let's just go ahead and check one out. So if you are looking for a partner, this is the kind of stuff you can check out on our DMC hub. You've got a full presentation on what they can deliver. This particular one from Crafted Africa, who are our experts in Malawi, also do Mozambique, and they have done a full presentation on how they can help you with your Mozambique inquiries. Here you'll see what destinations they work within, obviously a backlink to the website, an agent zone link. If they do have an agent zone, it's really good for you to know that. Obviously, when the page was last reviewed, how old they are. Testimonials, check them out. You know exactly who they are, who's using them. It might help you to have a bit of confidence in them. Caveating this, we do check all of our DMCs are working with our partners and have been recommended to us. So there is a level of checking that we go to so you can trust them. And also we also make sure that they are paying taxes locally and have insurance. So there is a rigorous process that goes behind the scenes. Collateral, when you're looking for a partner on the ground, before those peaks hit, you want to know exactly what you're going to be getting from your partner. You can check that out before reaching out to them. So you can check out what their sample itineraries will look like, so you know exactly what your team are going to be receiving. If you can send it out directly to your clients, again, this is a really nice way for you to know exactly what it is that you'll be getting as a partner. We've also set up a button for checking out their quotes. Some people love to know what the breakdown of a rate is. Some people like to know, okay, do you know what? Don't care about the breakdown, just give me one figure and I'll add my commission. That's really great, but then at least you can see what they're doing. Good to know. This is my sort of run through checklist. How many minimum nights they offer if they do minimum nights. Sometimes you might just need, 2 nights in Vic Falls. Do they operate that way? Dedicated account managers, what is their insurance liability cover? Are they locally owned and managed? Again, tax, any industry affiliations. So really good as a quick kind of overview of exactly what's going on with them. The filter section, who is it? All those filters combined into one page. So you can see what they offer, who they're offering their trips to, how big they are, and all those good things. And then crucially, the contact details. So you can submit inquiries directly through the platform. So as I say, if you get an inquiry for a destination, you're a bit stuck, you can literally be like, guys, can you help me? I've got this inquiry. So really good to get started, particularly if you haven't already got those partners on the ground that you're working with. Super. So Activity Hub is a very similar process. You've got your filters. Please bear with us. We do only have a handful of activities currently on the site, but really, really cool stuff in there. So getting ready for next month, or indeed when you start getting those flooded inboxes, do check out some of our partners. There's some really cool experiences out there. The look and feel of it is all absolutely the same as that you saw previously, and also with the accommodation hub. So you get all about who they are. You've got your testimonials. Dusty Road came on yesterday, so theirs is coming. Full presentations. You can request training, ask a question. You've got agent information links, galleries, sales and marketing, so you can go ahead and start promoting it before you get to peaks. Any details about when they've been in the press, again, your overview of what they actually do, and contact details. So the activities hub, like I say, really great if you are looking for new things to include in your itineraries for your clients. I'm very aware I'm going quickly, but the accommodation hub is the most populated, and I really want to show you how to use that. The flight hub, again, we are populating this as quickly as possible. We have 2 types. So you can filter by country that they're flying into, or you can filter by type of airline and aircraft. So for example, with Norse, this is one of our commercial flights. Check out that competition. So all about them, but here what you've got is a route map. So you can see where they're flying from and to, really useful for you to understand. And that's the same with all the commercial flights that we'll hopefully be getting on in the new year. Training and sales, testimonials. This is one of my favorite tabs, aircraft. So you actually know a bit about them. The one for the charters is even better. And luggage. This is one of my favorite tabs, and it's such a bugbear to try and get right, is how much luggage can you take on your trip? So you can actually flick between carry-on and check luggage, and again, your contact details. I'll show you a charter one as well. So if we go to Grametti Air, for example, very same look and feel, who they are, where they operate to, but do they have VIP meet and assist? And how many aircraft do they have? Again, you've got their route maps. this is my favorite tab, luggage. Some of you who've seen me present on this before, I don't know why, but I really love these images. It can be so difficult for you to be like, guys, clients, you need to have a soft bag. Please do not start packing these massive hard case luggage and you're going on small aircraft. But anyway, that's there and easy for you to access. Tourism boards, again, we're trying to get more involvement from those guys so you can get more official content for your websites and things. Again, check it out. We are building as much as possible. I'm just going to make sure that I haven't missed any questions that may have come in. I don't think I have. Cool, the accommodation hub, the good stuff. So we have over 550 properties across Africa and the Indian Ocean. Now, the full property list, this is where I think everyone needs to start. Okay, so please bookmark it or be aware of it. We added it about 3 months ago, and I think it's been lost a little bit in terms of our comms. However, this is an overview of all the properties that we've got on the site, and we are constantly adding to that. If you don't subscribe to our newsletters, please do. We do a New Faces, New Places newsletter once a month, which gives an update of all of the new listings that we've got on the website and links to them. So you can bookmark any that you particularly love. But here you can see all of the properties listed alphabetically where they are in the world. And also then you've got that quick link to go directly to their listing. We are busy rebuilding the filter. So again, the filters can be a bit clunky. I'm going to show you how to use it. I do apologize. There's just so much content and it's quite difficult when it's a bespoke filter. But we are going to be moving over to a new one in the new year. I cannot wait, but get ready. So the idea behind the filter is so that when you get that inquiry, you know how to find a property that fits the client's needs. So the days of sitting next to people who've been on the fans and you can ask their opinion are slightly behind us. So this really should help you to get those properties in front of your face quickly so that you know exactly what you can propose to your clients and hopefully speed up that journey of finding an itinerary and getting that booking across the line. So with my filters, they are all drop downs. You can filter by country, by region, and then all of these good things. But here's what I did earlier. So you can see, you can break down the type of travel. So if you've got that family inquiry, if you've got someone who's organizing a wedding, wellness, accessible travel, you name it. Board basis, also critical. When you're looking at those Indian Ocean properties, are they all inclusive? When you go to the Maldives, are you going to be paying extra once you're there? Or can you say to your client, look, you're paying this amount and that's basically it. Live your best life. So really useful for the board basis. Fun price, if you've got my kind of budget versus Mr. Moneybags or Mrs. Moneybags, then you can literally filter based on that fun price. Activities, land and air versus water. Again, we have tried our very best to be as inclusive when it comes to things that you can do on the ground. So if you've got an inquiry for a really excited, active client who's been to Africa a million times, why not check the fly camping box? Because that is such a cool activity. We'll do activity training in a second. Night game drives, again, are you going to see those nocturnal things or are you going to be limited because you're within a national park and have to go back to the property? Community visits, do they do yoga? Ranger and tracker as standard, another really cool filter for you to think about. You don't want it to be that when you are pitching an itinerary and you've got 2 or 3 properties in on Safari where they go to one that's got a tracker and a ranger as standard, and then they go to a place that only has a ranger, it can feel a little bit disjointed. So having that tick box is really useful as well. And then again, like I say, all of the water activities that you may want as well. Not done yet. Facilities, rooms versus general. So are you looking for a massive property to make sure that if you're there as a family, you can just say, okay, cheerio kids, enjoy playing with others? Or do you want a more bespoke property that has a handful of rooms so that you can really gel as a multi-gen family? Honeymoon suites, interconnecting rooms. Do you want a room with a bath? That's me. Really trying to filter into finding exactly what kind of product you're looking for. Star beds and sleep outs, really cool experience for any kind of traveler. Do they have a private airstrip? Have you got to that inquiry where you're like, actually, do you know what, they want to fly in their own little private charter? Great, tick that box. Helipads, e-vehicles, game watching hides, and then crucially your sustainability credentials, because what we're finding a massive trend is a lot of clients are now asking more and more about properties that fit these criteria. So that is also there for you. Cool, so let's check out some properties. Actually, let me just tell you about the quirk with the filter. So let's just say we're going to look for properties in Zimbabwe. It kind of works its way out, and then it looks like you've not selected anything, but you have. So don't worry. So it is there, it is selected. It just needs a time to kind of balance. So that's the kind of the same with all of it. Then you have to press apply filter. The new one is going to be so much better and you won't have that problem. But anyway, there we go. So now you can see all of our Zimbabwe products. So let's just check out Matetsi, for example. Cool. So what are you going to find and how do you use it? If you are looking for products, this is a way that you can find properties that suit your criteria, especially in areas that you're not so familiar with. If you've got a team and suddenly you're having to drag them into selling Zimbabwe, they're not so familiar with the destination or the product, this is one way of doing it. The other thing is if you're a product manager or you're managing a team, you can actually highlight and save the bookmarks, because this is a unique URL. Bookmark all of your products that you use regularly. Then you can quite literally just go to them, have them available, check them out, and make sure that you've got all your details ready to hand when you speak to the client. If you've not been to the property, this is where it's really useful. So insider tips, you can blag your way across the phone, being so detailed that it sounds like you've been there. And they're not even going to say, but have you been? Because it sounds like you have. And that's really crucial when it comes to hooking that client. So yeah, absolutely. We love Matetsu. You've got 9 miles of private river frontage. Really cool. So yeah, that kind of detail is really useful for you as a quick thumbs up. So that's there on the homepage. You've got an overview of the room categories, your fund price. This, if you've got a family inquiry on the phone, you can be like, yeah, great. I know the criteria for the activities that I need to be considerate of. If it's part of a collection, I could potentially do a collection bundle and get a discount for my clients. If there's any year-round offers, we also highlight that. Snapshots again, so you can have a quick squiz and say, okay, I'm not entirely sure it fits the client's wants, but a really easy way for you to kind of decide yes or no. Testimonial section, this is from third party perspective. So you've got other beautiful people in the industry telling you why they love it, who it's for, how to sell it, and crucially, who it's not for. It could be that you find a property that is a little bit awkward, is in an area that takes, maybe an hour and a half to drive to, and someone who can't be in a vehicle for long may not suit them. So we've tried our best to ask our partners to give feedback like that. If you do want to give feedback on properties and share the love, let us know. It'd be great to have your thoughts. Training and webinars. This is one of the most crucial things. Yes, obviously during peaks, we're so busy, we cannot have reps and sales managers come into our offices. However, this means you can actually catch up on those properties from the comfort of your desk, feel informed as if you've just had a presentation from them directly, and sell that property straight off the bat. So you've got a full presentation, but we go an extra level. So you've also got the area. So again, if you're not so familiar with Vic Falls, you're not just selling the property, you're selling the area that it's in. So we've also included our destination training there for you to feel, again, even more confident about pitching that itinerary to the clients. If you do want to request training because you think, actually, do you know what, we really need to know about this, you can request training directly through the platform. What this does is, it's on my other screen and it's not coming across, which is great. It opens up an email that goes to the perfect person. So it saves you time having to faff about, especially during peaks when you're slammed, to get the right contact to do training. This opens up an email that goes directly to the right person to request it. And the same goes for asking a question. Yes, you'll have your partners on the ground, potentially your DMC partners, but this way you're actually cutting out that time, and you're going straight to the property to say, look, I've got this type of inquiry. Would you even consider it? So that's great as well for you to just make sure that you're saving a bit of time. The gallery, again, overview shots, but then what we've done is we've linked in most of the times a Wetu link if they are on Wetu, or it will go straight through to their primary gallery. So you can download those images, really get a feel for the property. And if you wanted to really showcase that to the client, go ahead and show it to them. Here you've also got the extra level of learning that you can have directly through Wetu because they'll have updated that themselves. So what we're trying to do is, again, save time and make sure that you feel confident about the product that you're selling. Start selling is one of my favorite tabs. And if you all know Laura, my colleague, came from Audley, and she said that this was a game saver for her as a product manager for the Indian Ocean. So great, we found Matetsu using our filters, or indeed we know it. We want to know how to combine it into an itinerary. This is going to save you time. Here, what we've got is three properties that work well with it and also suit it in a full itinerary. And this has all come from the property themselves. So you don't need to think, well, one's a little bit kind of more barefoot and the other one's more Gigi. This is great because it really does mean that they work well together. And also from a price point. What we've then done is put it together into a sample itinerary using Safari Portal. So if you really do need to save time, try and understand again where everything is mapped out in the world, we have their maps so you can see it. And we've got the areas also using Safari Portal's content. So again, if you're not so familiar with the Mara, great, you can catch up on Safari Portal's content. The same with the product. It's all there so that you can get that extra level of learning. Agent information. Love this button. This is basically live, up-to-date information from the product. So their live fact sheets, their up-to-date rates, their up-to-date images, their whatever it is that they would normally share with you once they've been to the office, once you've met them at a trade show. But rather than you having to download it and have it live on your system, taking up space and potentially going out of date in 6 months' time, this is all kept up to date by the properties. So you don't need to save anything anymore. Just go onto the Africa Hub or the Indian Ocean, go to the page, and then you can access all of this information straight off the bat. You've also got availability links. Roughly 95% of properties on the site have got availability links. So obviously, thumbs up, please bear in mind that it's not going to be connected to a live GDS, but it is actually there for you to say, right, I've put together an itinerary. I know that Zim are sleeping at the moment, but I'm working through the night because it's peaks. Am I putting together an itinerary that's going to work? Maybe we shift your dates a little bit because your room category isn't going to be available over those dates. So it's really good for you to be able to put something that is actually possible to sell on your client's desk straight away, and then you can check availability and confirm it and hold it the next day once your ground handlers or your property's reservation teams are open. So please don't forget about the availability link. This is a crucial one that I definitely wish that I had access to when I was a tour operator. These are also live active links, by the way. So if you click on them and they are on the site, they'll have the listing. If they're not on the site, it will go to their website. So you also have that level of learning if you do need to access it that way. Getting there, great. How does it fit in an itinerary? You've got an overview of how to get there with maps, sales and marketing collateral. This is another really great one for getting those bookings across the line. Where they've got promotional material, please do include it in your itineraries to the clients. I don't know how you may be putting trips together, if it's through your own itinerary systems or whatever the case may be, but these are really great ways to showcase the properties and be like, guys, this is what you're going to be seeing. This is what you're going to be experiencing. And properties spend a fortune on this promotional content. But what we've done is brought it all into the platform so you don't have to start faffing about on YouTube to try and find it. Filters, we're actually going to be renaming this once I get my new filters list sorted. It's going to be renamed something like cheat sheet because it's basically all of those filter criteria, but in one place. What we're finding here is, let's just say you're on the phone with the client, you've put together a trip and you're trying to convince them to buy it. Fantastic. They're going to have questions about that property. Fear not, you don't need to find the fact sheet or start faffing about trying to find the website. Here what you've got is, yes, absolutely, madam. Yes, absolutely, so and so. They have so many activities on offer. You can do community visits, you can do sunset cruises. They have wine tasting if you're into that. And just because it's rolling off the tongue, it sounds like you've been there, and they will have confidence in you. So this is a really great way for you to have it up while you're on the phone to the client, and just, if you've got it in a proposal, or if you're looking for it to be in a proposal, you can start kind of putting your feelers out there with the client on the phone, figuring out what it is that they're actually looking for and seeing if you can't find the perfect product. Then you've got contact details. Again, we're not trying to remove your partners on the ground. It's crucial that you liaise with them. But if you do need more collateral to get your clients across the line, if you do want to have that training in-house, this is where you can reach out to the team directly. Cool. So I think that I've done everything that I can on the accommodation hub, but like I say, quick ways to kind of get ready for next month is to bookmark your favorite ones. So you can go ahead and do that. I also highly recommend that you bookmark the complete list of products. And if you do use the search criteria on our accommodation hub, there's a search bar. Just make sure that you press apply filter. But like I say, you do have the complete list here in the properties as well. I'm just going to take a quick break and have a quick squiz and see if I've had any questions. Nope. Okay, great. I'm now going to go on to how to get ready between now and January. Obviously, you've got you're trying to get those bookings in, you're trying to get those inquiries to hit your desk instead of your wonderful partners or colleagues that are also on the call. So let's go through to our destination section. This is where we've got all of our destination training and everything relevant to these areas. So where you've got areas that you may want to be pushing, but you haven't actually done any social media for them, or they're not on the website, this is where you can start that journey. We've got really off the beaten track places like Chad, Sierra Leone, Sao Tome and Principe, which honestly, these places look incredible. But this is where you would start. But there's some extra tidbits and tips that I can teach you to try and get ready for feeling confident with those destinations that you may not necessarily have kind of flowing off the tongue. So on those destination pages, you head over to the webinar section. Here you've got a full hour-long presentation. Again, from our partners on the ground, what we go through include things like access, USPs for the destination, an overview of obviously visas and all those good things. And then what we've done is break it down into regions as well. So you've got all the key regions that you might want to be selling or get requests for. We then break that down into bite-sized sections. So it's a bit like chapters in a book. So if you aren't so familiar with the conservancies in the on the boundary of the Masai Mara, go and check that out. If you want to learn more about the Mara, go to the Mara section. If you want to know about the coast, etc. So all those bite-sized sections are all broken down. So you don't have to be like, oh, I need to find an hour somewhere in my busy day. You can actually go ahead and break it down that way. The other thing that we have in here, which I really want to point out, is our country updates. We will be doing another one in January. However, these are great because they are updates from our destination experts, giving a 5-minute overview of new product launches, new properties who've gone through refurbs, new access routes, things to consider, new experiences. And it was really just a 5-minute update from each of those properties. And all I've done is cut it into a bite-sized section and then put it on the website for you. So I do recommend that you watch both January and June so that you can get the updates from both of those. And then hopefully those properties that are new will be on the sites. And if they're not, reach out to us and we can always help you to link up and figure out whether or not you want to sell those new products. But this is a really great way for you to feel like you've got your finger on the pulse, especially ahead of next month. Right, now we've got our elevator pitch. We did this in October. Gosh, I don't know where I am in the world. So the elevator pitch is a 15-minute boom of information. So really great if you just want to top up on key USPs so that while you're on the phone to the client, you can be like, do you know what? I love that you want to go there at this time of year, but have you thought about? And then you can just reel off all of the amazing USPs for different destinations. So the elevator pitch will really give you that confidence to sell that country. It's 15 minutes max per country. It's on all of the destinations that we've done it on. So I do recommend before you hit peaks that you top up your knowledge on the elevator pitches. We also have our 15-minute focus on some of them. I need to update the one for Kenya. I will do that today. I'll make a note. But the 15-minute focus again is just a 15-minute overview of the destination. So an hour-long presentation in 15 minutes, which is a little bit quick, but it does help. Then you've got your resources section. So within this, we're looking at sample itineraries and fact sheets. Again, you guys know your stuff, but it may very well be that you're with a new destination and you think which areas work well together, we've put together itineraries where you've got all those different areas and what a nice, easy to sell itinerary would look like. So 8-night trip to Kenya, great. Let's have a quick look at the Africa Hub. And here you've got an overview of the itinerary, who it's for, highlights when to go, maps, and then a day-by-day itinerary. I do recognize that these are quite specific and have product listed. We are moving away from that in the new year. However, this is really great for now for you to be like, great, okay, easy, off the shelf type of itinerary. This is how you can get ready. Put together a trip with Nairobi, the Mara, and Diani. Fantastic. Tick that box. So we've got 3 per destination, and then you've got our fact sheets as well. Again, this is just stopping you having to use our friend Google, but key facts about the destination, what it's known for, when to go, and an overview of all those different areas. And rather than it being salesy and everything's beautiful, we know that Nairobi isn't beautiful. However, really worthwhile knowing that, you know, there's traffic in Nairobi, but you can still do all these amazing things like the elephant orphanage and all those good things. So that's all in there as well. Maps. Some destinations have more maps than others. Bear with us, we are adding more as we go, but there's some really useful stuff, including things like the Great Migration Map. So if you're having a bit of a brain fart about where the herds are going to be, and someone says to you, I can go to East Africa in July, but I want to see where the herds are going to be. Fantastic. You can have a squiz and see, right, they're going to be in the west. West east, yes, that is west. So you know exactly where to kind of plot them in terms of where they're staying. So really useful stuff like that. Some have more detail, like the accommodation in the different areas, but like I say, we're trying to find a way of making that more interactive. Watch this space. The marketing toolbox, again, this is probably more for your marketing teams than the sales teams, but it could very well be that you guys want to really drive more inquiries to a certain destination. We've tried to make your life easy with our social media toolbox. So you've got sample social media captions that have already been written for you. All you need to do is change it to a voice and tone or language. And what we've done is we have also included the @ so you know where the image has come from. So there's none of that kind of worry about where those photos have come from. So it's a Dropbox. You head over to the PDF, and here what you've got is, oh gosh, if it'll open for me, a downloadable PDF with suggested hashtags, tourism board ads for that broader visibility for those guys who might be looking at Kenya and then suddenly you come up and it's like, yeah, great, let's go with them instead. And like I say, you've got 12 social media captions already written for you. Don't need to worry about tagging us. We do not care. Just live your best lives and get those bookings in. Our gallery is also here. Some destinations have more in-depth galleries than others. What we've tried to do is give you a one-stop space to go and find images to promote these destinations. If you have any questions about this, please do let me know and I'll be able to help you. When to go? Thumbsuck only. We're doing more of a deep dive next year. This is our development strategy. But if you're like, okay, great, I've just got someone on the phone and they want to go in July, here I can have a quick squiz at what's happening with the travel experience, what the weather's going to be doing, game experience, bird watching. I love a bird. So really great for you to be able to kind of say, right, do you know what? If you're going to go in July, just make sure that you're going to take warmer layers because it's going to be a bit nippy in the evenings. Really helpful for you while you're on the phone again, if you're not familiar with a destination. Oh, that emoji came up. That's kind of fun. Sponsored Spotlights was our first foray into showcasing properties in a destination for you to sell. Do feel inspired if you want to check that out. And then again, these are links that go off to our various sub-hubs. And as I said, we are very excitingly going to be linking in the accommodation into that section in the new year. I'm very conscious of time, but I am going to show you my sales support section because again, I feel like this is crucial for you to get ready for those bookings next month. Activities week. This was a deep dive that I did over a week where we went into all the different activities that you can do across Africa and the Indian Ocean. So in the webinar section, what we've done is a 10-minute overview of what the experience is, key considerations in terms of the ages, any cost implications, times of year, and where you can do it. So have a look. There's loads in here. So we've done obviously game drives. You'll be familiar with that if you are actively selling it. But what does a fly camping trip look like? Walking safaris. Is it going to be safe? Oh, a little bit dodgy there. Not at all. You will feel so confident once you've watched these. Hot air ballooning. If you've not had the privilege of doing it, it really is great to have the understanding of getting up at 4 in the morning and then having this champagne breakfast. It sounds wonderful. Scenic flights, heli flights, microlights, wine tasting, cycling, hiking killie. We have a whole section on hiking killie, by the way. Camel riding, macoroing, boating, surfing, whitewater rafting, kayaking, kite surfing, shark cage diving. So we really did go to town on the activities. So again, getting ready for peaks, check those out. It'll give you that confidence if you've not had the experience of any of these activities yourself. Other things, great. Exclusive use in families. Again, for those of you who don't have children, I do not have children. I thought that I was awesome at selling family trips. Turns out that I could have been better. The webinar that we hosted had a couple of specialists in this area. Do check it out. Understanding the market, understanding the types of holidays that you can look at, knowing about the different age group considerations. So what I really didn't think about is going to Africa in the middle of their hot season and taking a toddler who needs nap time and them not being able to nap because there isn't air conditioning in the room. Suddenly you've got a grouchy kid for the whole day. That's no fun for anybody. So that kind of detail is what we've got in this webinar. Really do check it out, even if you have got kids and you haven't had the opportunity to travel to these destinations for children. Really great one to understand. But also what they went through is understanding whether or not you want to have an exclusive use trip. So, staying together and spending all that time together. I love my family to bits, but it might be slightly intense. Or are you going to look for an option that's a little bit broader, where you've got other people coming in and out of their lives, making that family experience a little bit more dynamic? So that's in there. Don't forget, we've got all these other lovely tabs. So ways you can promote it, sponsored spotlights and all those good things. There's a lot of stuff on here, so I'm going very, very quickly. Other ones that I really want to highlight to you, safaris in South Africa, really cool if you want to understand all the various areas in South Africa and the USPs for being on safari in all the different areas. Here we did a deep dive into gorilla trekking. Again, a very expensive experience that not everyone has had the opportunity to enjoy. Laura, my colleague, has done this, and I am jealous every time she talks about it. But in the webinar for this, what we went through was what the experience is and what to expect, when to go, what to wear and pack, real key considerations in terms of your health, but also the difference between Rwanda, Uganda, and the Republic of Congo. So really understanding which destination might be right for your clients when they're asking for a gorilla trekking experience. So really cool logistics, pricing, and all those good things. So that's all in there as well. What else have we done here? How to cater to those in a wheelchair, key considerations. Again, another really cool deep dive into understanding questions you should be asking product to make sure that they fit in with a client's needs. What you should be asking your client to make sure that you can find the right product for them. Kosher travel, deep dive into that. If you've got any kosher clients, really interesting. I learned so much just to understand the kosher culture. Really recommend that one. Gay travel in Africa, for any of you who are a bit nervous about a gay inquiry, knowing what questions to ask, if they're comfortable going to an area where it's potentially going to be illegal. What I also want to show you very quickly in this section is we have really useful links. So in our tools section, is it the tools section or the resources section, we have the gay rights maps. So you can go onto this website and you can check out these heat maps, so that if you are, again, a bit unfamiliar about when you're going to be where you're going to be sending a gay couple, this is a really great way for you to understand what those implications might mean for them. So really cool webinar that I highly recommend you check out. I'm not giving you lots of homework before January, am I? Deep dives into Ruaha Nairi, Off the Beaten Track KZN. These ones are more for the future, but looking at potential trade shows you might want to look at so that you can be ready for training next year. Great Migration, another really cool one. If you're not familiar with the phenomenon, we did an overview of the history of the migration, the conservation efforts that have gone into it, understanding Kenya versus Tanzania and the differences of selling them, the types of accommodation that you might be looking at, what is a mobile camp versus a static camp. We even had Alex Walker do a live from the migration, which was a bit like a David Attenborough-esque, this is the noise and these are the herds and these are the things. If you don't know what the experience is, how to sell it, really, really cool stuff. Animals and their behavior. We had a female guide talk about what it's like actually guiding during the migration. Really cool stuff. So that's all in my sales support area as well. Cool. I think that's where I feel like you're actually going to benefit the most in terms of using the site for peaks. I don't know if there's any questions that you might have, but like I say, I'm very available. If you have any questions after today, feel free to email me at sam@thetravelhubcollection.co.uk. We are constantly adding to the site. If there's any contacts out there and you think, do you know what, they're not on the website, please let us know. Please let them know that we're here so that it's to the benefit of everybody to have their webinars and their training on the site for you to access at any time. Also helps you to save time when it comes to training your team and your newbies. Let's just have a quick squiz. Have I missed anything in the Q&A? Don't think so. I think that's a wrap, folks. A huge, huge thank you to all of you for joining today. And thank you for all of your support. It's been a rocker year. We are still a really small team, but we wouldn't be able to do it without all of you and your feedback. So a wholehearted thank you to you all. And yeah, enjoy your festive, regardless of your religion and whether you celebrate it or not. I hope you have a wonderful time over December and good luck with your peaks. I'm super excited about this year. The trends show that we're actually going to be getting a lot of interest in Africa and the Indian Ocean. So here's holding thumbs. And if anyone has any questions or again needs any additional help to find content on the site, you know where I am. All right, folks, that's the last webinar of the year. We have done 48 this year and 162 in 3 years. We do keep busy. So sending you lots of love from Bath. Happy festive, lots of love, and we will see you bright and early in the new year. Take care, everyone.